I know what I did was wrong, but I also know I haven't told a single soul the full truth. Not my best friend, not my husband, not even myself some days. My name is Sarah. I'm 28. I've been married for a little over a year now to a man most people would describe as solid. Ryan is the kind of guy who shows up early, remembers birthdays, helps my mom fix her leaky faucet without being asked. He doesn't flirt, doesn't lie, doesn't party. He's the man everyone says you should marry. And I did, but I didn't deserve him, not after what happened. It was about 2 months before our wedding. I was in Chicago for a 3-day leadership summit my company had sent me to. I almost didn't go because the wedding was coming up fast and I had so much planning left. But Ryan encouraged me, told me it was a big opportunity, that he was proud of me. He even helped me pack my suitcase. He kissed me goodbye at the airport and told me he couldn't wait to call me his wife. That kiss still haunts me. I didn't plan on doing anything stupid, but I did. And I think part of me knew I might. That scares me more than anything. Let me be honest. I've always had this thing with Mark. He's my coworker, tall, charming, just the right mix of reckless and funny. The kind of guy who never says no to a happy hour, who always has some joke that makes the whole room laugh. We'd worked together for about 2 years. Nothing ever happened between us, not physically. But there was a tension, a flirtation we both pretended wasn't real. It was the last night of the summit. We'd all gone out for drinks. The whole team was there at first. Then people slowly peeled off to their rooms. And then it was just me and Mark, still sitting at the hotel bar, still drinking. He was making me laugh so hard I snorted wine out my nose. I remember thinking I hadn't felt that carefree in a long time. I also remember how he looked at me, not like a friend, not like a coworker, like he was remembering every almost moment we'd ever shared in the office. I should have walked away. I should have called Ryan and gone to bed early. I should have thought about the dress hanging in my closet back home, about the vows we'd written together, about the future we were building. But I didn't. Instead, I followed Mark up to his room like I didn't already belong to someone else, like I hadn't already promised forever. I wish I could say I don't remember what happened next, but I do. Every detail. I remember his hands, his voice, the way he said my name like it was something he'd been dying to say out loud for years. I remember how guilty I felt even in the middle of it, but I didn't stop. When I woke up the next morning in his hotel bed, my stomach turned. Not from the alcohol, but from the weight of what I'd just done. I didn't speak. I just gathered my things and left. He didn't chase after me. He didn't have to. I spent the rest of the trip in silence, barely able to look anyone in the eye. When I got home, Ryan was waiting for me at the airport with flowers. He smiled when he saw me like nothing had changed, because for him, nothing had. But for me, everything had. I almost told him that night. I sat on the edge of our bed and stared at the ring on my finger, wondering if I even deserved to wear it. But I didn't say a word, and then we got married. Just like we planned. Just like I hadn't made a mistake that could shatter his entire world. The wedding was beautiful. People cried during our vows. My dad danced with me. Ryan looked at me like I was the most beautiful woman he'd ever seen. I looked back at him like I was trying to memorize the moment, because deep down I knew I didn't deserve it. You might think the guilt eventually faded. That time helped me bury it. But the truth is, it didn't. It just changed shape. It stopped being sharp and urgent. Now it lives in the quiet moments. When Ryan brings me coffee in bed, when he surprises me with lunch at work, when he talks about the kids we'll have one day, I think about what I did. And I wonder what kind of mother that makes me. I've tried to justify it. I've told myself I was drunk, that it was a one-time thing, that Mark meant nothing. But the truth is, I knew exactly what I was doing. I wanted it in some twisted, selfish way. I let myself be seen by someone who wasn't my partner, and I didn't stop it. I betrayed a good man for a moment that didn't mean anything, and I've never forgiven myself. Mark never brought it up again. He avoided me at work for a few weeks, then acted like nothing had happened. That was almost worse than the silence. I wanted him to feel something, guilt, regret, anything. But he just moved on. Meanwhile, I wake up every morning next to a man who would have done anything for me, who still does. Sometimes I catch him looking at me with so much love that I have to turn away, because if he knew what I did, he wouldn't look at me like that ever again. I've thought about confessing more times than I can count, but I always stop myself. Not because I want to keep lying, but because I don't want to lose him, and I know that makes me a coward. I've told myself that telling him would only serve me, that it would ease my guilt and destroy his heart. But maybe that's another excuse. Maybe the truth is, I'm just too afraid to deal with the consequences. Some nights I cry in the shower so he won't hear me. Other nights I stare at my wedding photos and wonder if they're all built on a lie. I know what I did doesn't define everything about me, but it lives in me. It's a wound I gave myself. And here's the worst part. If Ryan ever cheated on me, even once, I don't think I could forgive him. That's what eats me alive. So why did I do it? I've asked myself that 1,000 times, and the answer is ugly. Because I could. Because I was drunk and selfish and chasing some dumb validation I didn't need. Because I thought I was too smart to ruin my life. But I did. I haven't touched another man since that night. I haven't even flirted. I pour everything I have into our marriage now, trying to prove to myself that I can be the kind of wife Ryan thinks I am. But some lines, once crossed, can never be uncrossed. And some ghosts never leave you alone. I know people will judge me if they ever hear this. And maybe they should. But I also know I'm not the only one who's made a mistake and still had to wake up the next day and go on pretending like everything's okay. We all have our secrets. This one just happens to wear a white dress in my memories, and every time my husband holds my hand, I pray he never lets it go, even if I don't deserve to be held.